The focus right now is just to cover the persuasive or civic engagement speech description, just to give you an overview about what we're going to be looking at on this particular speech. So our job on this one is just to look at the purpose and definitions, the topics, the objectives, the length, the written portion, the sources, the visual or presentation aids. This one does have a self-evaluation, and then there are just the general points for this particular assignment. The purpose of this particular assignment is that it's one that you will commonly use in some of your classes that are going to happen going forward, and then it could be something that might be used in a business environment if you are in a situation where you're trying to encourage people to take on a new behavior, or you want to change something in the company. These might be situations where you might use this type of speech. Another element of this particular speech is to make sure that you're defining your terms and making sure that it's clear the ideas and concepts that you're going to be covering, so that everybody's kind of on an even playing field and understand the main ideas that you're covering. You also need to make sure that you have a good structure. So we've talked about the structure of the outline, the three main ideas, the introduction, a thesis statement with the three main ideas, having the transition statements between each of the ideas, and going back over the main ideas again in the conclusion. So that structure will stay for your persuasive and informative speeches. And in this particular speech, we're also going to create a call to action. So what behavior is it that you would like the audience to do at the end of the speech? What would you like them to do? Do you want them to contact their local representative, for example? When you're choosing your topic, you do need to make sure that the topic that you select is research-based. That means if I go in to find journal articles, I would be able to find journal articles on it. So that's basic information. Have some knowledge about it yourself, so that helps you have credibility when you're discussing it, if you have some relationship to the topic. It does need to have at least two sides. And sometimes it's a bit difficult for students when they're going through this to make sure that they're selecting a topic that is persuasive and not informative. And then have a follow through, and I talked about the call to action. What is it you want people to do with the information? And that's going to be kind of specific to this particular speech. So we want you to master the outline. So we've worked on the outline when we worked on the special occasion speech. So we want you to continue to work on mastering the outline. The 5-paragraph format, so just the introduction, three main ideas, conclusion. Continue to work on soft skills. In this case, we are going to be using verbal citations. So a verbal citation in this context is going to be using the name of the author and usually some criteria that shows who they are, or gives some background that helps provide credibility for that author that you selected. Let's see, in-text citations and references in ABA format. This would be specific to your outline. And then also the PowerPoint that you're going to create for this particular presentation. You're going to have the call to action, which is new. So that's a new one for this speech. And then support both sides respectfully. The reason I bring this up is sometimes people will get into, well, obviously, if you believe the right way, you believe like me. And that's probably not going to be the best way of presenting it. Certainly, if you want people to listen to you and support what you have to say. The length of this speech is going to be between 6 to 8 minutes. So this is a reasonably good length, but it is one of the reasons why we do stick with 3 main ideas. If you do a good job of supporting 3 main ideas, you should end up being around 6 to 8 minutes long on your speech. This one actually requires 2 different written portions. You are going to have a supplied worksheet where you're going to supply it in a .doc or .docx format. If necessary, you can do a PDF, but preferably it comes in a .doc or .docx. Leave the formatting of the document. So leave the questions and the numbers and just place your responses underneath. Put your information in complete, well-developed sentences, and then you're going to submit this under assignments, under the written portion, under the persuasive worksheet. So it's got its own little folder where you want to submit this. I do have separate rubrics that go along with assignments, so it really helps me if you're submitting information in the right locations so that I have things set up properly and the right information to be able to score what you're delivering. Now you're going to have the outline, and the outline is the same one that we worked on already, so it is going to be supplied to you. Again, you're just typing on the outline. You're going to leave the formatting of the outline. It's already formatted correctly. You're going to leave the indentation, the numbers, the letters, and just place your information next to it. Complete well-developed sentences. So sometimes people get confused and think this is a speaker's outline. Nope, this would be like a regular paper that you would be submitting. It just happens to be an outline format. So well-developed sentences, you create your in-text citations next to the information and place it in the outline. Then the reference section is going to be on the last page or 2 of the outline as well. And then this one's also going to be submitted under assignments under the written, and then this one's called persuasive outline. If it's not submitted to me in an outline format, it gets a 0. I generally will try to give you an opportunity to correct it and get it back into me, but if it gets submitted late or it doesn't, or there's not enough time based on when it was graded for you to be able to get it submitted back to me, that opportunity would not be available to you. So please submit this in the correct format from the very beginning so that we don't have to do it that way. You are going to put your sources in APA format. You are going to use in-text citations, and you are going to create references at the end of the outline. So this is all going to be within the outline. You're going to have at least 3 peer-reviewed journal articles and at least 3 outside sources. So a total of 6. Notice that I say at least. Sometimes students go, oh, that's what I'm going to do, but kind of keep in mind that's the minimum of what you want to have. So it's better to have more than it is definitely to have less. So if you want to get like a minimum score, you're giving me at least 3 peer-reviewed journals and 3 outside sources. You're going to do the verbal citations on at least your journal articles. You're going to at least have the full name of the person, the author that you're citing, and a credential. So that might be Mary Smith, who's a professor of psychology at the University of Colorado, Denver. Mary Smith, who wrote a journal article in this particular journal. Mary Smith, who wrote the article called this. You know, so look for a credential that helps build that person up, because basically you're borrowing their credibility. So you want to talk about why they're valuable. Why is this person smart? Or, you know, why should you listen to what this person has to say? The PowerPoint could be PowerPoint, could be a Prezi. You do want to follow the stated information for the visual media. A minimum of 4 slides. So please feel free to have more slides if you'd like. Since I do have remote control, it does give you the opportunity to click for yourself. I would avoid having things go on click because it's going to take forever, you know, for things to load. Please avoid using, you know, the special entrances for your slides because it makes a big mess. And then just have main ideas. Really work on consistent alignment for the text, for the headings, for the images. And then there's, under the assignments, at the top of the page, find the location for PowerPoint Persuasive, and that's where this particular one's going to be submitted. Now on this one, you're going to have a self-evaluation. You're going to use the supplied form. I'll show you in just a second where that's located. You're going to use the supplied form. You're going to watch the video of yourself that you'll find in the classroom. You're going to look at both your strengths and opportunities. You're going to look at the comments at the bottom of the evaluation form, and you're going to give a little bit of detail about the way, why you scored the way that you did. And then you're going to submit that under assignments, under written, and then self-evaluation for Persuasive. For this particular assignment, the speech is worth 180, the outline is worth 60, the worksheet is worth 15, and the self-evaluation is worth 10. So let me show you just really quickly where you can find the self-evaluation form. So if you go under assignments inside your classroom and then you go down here, what you'll see is a lot of the worksheets and information that you might be needing for the class. But right here is the self-evaluation. I'm not sure why I have two of them there, but there you go. But there's the self-evaluation for the Persuasive. So I might get rid of it, so I just have one of them in there, but you should be able to click on that and be able to just fill that out, type on it, just like you've been doing on your outline and other things, and then get, oh, I see what I did. I have a doc and I have a PDF. That's why. Some people were running into some challenges getting that to work. So please feel free to use the PDF if you're having trouble with the doc working. Kind of have a little bit of it in a format, so you can just fill in blanks. And then the bottom of it I don't think is set up in the same format. Another place you should be able to find this is under the content section. And basically, if you want to just use the rubric for that specific speech, you can just use the rubric there. Oh, there it is, this persuasive speech rubric right here. So feel free to use that one. They're going to be similar to each other, and basically the formatting is going to be the same. So even if the scoring might be different, the formatting's the same, so feel free to use either one. All right, hopefully that helps give you the basics for the persuasive speech, and make sure you email me if you have questions, or please feel free to ask in the class if you have any. Thank you.